Hey everyone, Karen from Master Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So, what's going on? How you doing? Um, I don't know. I don't even know what I feel like talking about today. I do have some messages, two of them actually, and they both happen to be political from the Lead Team Collective using the pendulum chart and the pendulum. Okay. And then the lead team wanted me to pull this deck, the self-care wisdom oracle. So they're really wanting us to continue to focus on our own self-care. And I think that's why I'm like, I don't know what I feel like talking about today. I've been really focused on self-care lately, trying to get in more steps. Now that I've kind of changed the way I'm eating, really low carb, I mean, almost zero carbs at this point. Just for 90 days, I'm doing like a 90-day challenge. And so like hardly any carbs, letting energy be fat. So it's animal based, letting energy be fat. So glucose that's actually, there's no research that says our bodies need glucose. So I'm learning all about this kind of stuff from doctors who have been studying animal-based diet. Okay. So anyway, so that's what I've been doing. And I was doing yogurt, but I'm going to actually take a break from the yogurt for like 90 days, clean up my body. I'm hoping, I think it will. It will. My SG said it would do it. I will, I have a whole list of ailments, which we all do, right? Especially when you start writing your ailments down, you're like, why are there so many of them? We get really used to living certain ways, and we don't have to live that way according to this particular way of eating. Okay. So, and the doctors that I'm learning from who also eat that way. Okay. Which, by the way, I have learned, I might have mentioned this in a previous video, that women going through it is common, I don't want to use the word, it is common that women have menopausal symptoms. But if we were actually feeding our bodies what our bodies need, we would not have any. Okay, so it is not, the body should not have menopausal symptoms. Let me put it that way. Okay, that's fascinating, isn't it? So for someone who has been pretty much 7 years now, 6 years, hot flashes consistently, I am ready for that to be done. So now, after 90 days, I'll see then how I'm feeling and then see if other things need to happen. But we'll just see. So I'm doing a little 90-day challenge. I'll keep you updated. But yeah, so once I do that, I'm going to go back to the yogurt because I was talking about I had made a whole bunch of my own yogurt, and I want to go back to that and get some microbes in. But now that I've pared my eating down to very basic, specific things, it'll be very interesting now to introduce things back to see how they affect me, because all of our bodies are different, right? So I've never done this before, so it's just kind of it'll be interesting. So the one thing I did learn, and I wanted to mention this, sometimes hearing a lot of this kind of information, it's among all the other information that we've been learning or hearing about or trying to decipher what's accurate, what's not, what's myths, what's not myths, which we did myths part 1 yesterday. If you missed it, I will post it at the end of this video. Really fun. And then I have myths part 2 tomorrow, and I can't post that there because not posted yet. So yeah, so join me tomorrow for myths, MYTHS, in case I'm not pronouncing that clearly enough for you. So yeah, so sometimes my brain gets bombarded with too much, I wouldn't say conspiracy, but too much of like, this isn't the truth, and that's not the truth, and you were told this, and this isn't the truth. There's a lot of that going around. So again, that's where we come back. I've been talking for a couple of weeks, come back to our own reality. Like, what's the truth? I'm sitting on this couch right now. I'm sitting on the couch, And that's really a way to deal with anxiety too. But there are so many things that there's so many things going on right now that are making us question everything, like everything. And because, the whole food industry is like a whole nother thing, so I'm like, because I'm in the middle of that, but I did, and because that was the kind of videos I'm getting into. I saw a video the other day. I can't verify how truthful it is, but this gentleman was, and I'll post the video below. Okay. I'll post it in the description so you can watch it. But basically, I mean, the video, it's like 9 minutes long, 5 or 9 minutes long. Basically saying that 60%, now I don't know when this will get cleaned up, so this may not be a permanent thing, and this is allegedly 60% of all supplements purchased on Amazon are counterfeit, allegedly. Okay. So the reason being, and it actually makes sense. Now, again, I don't know from the time this gentleman posts this video to Amazon dealing with the issue, or even if they are. I'm not sure if they are. What happens is you have all these companies who send products, okay? If it's the same product, so let's just say there's one vitamin. I usually buy like pure encapsulations, okay? So if there is a vitamin company, Pure Encapsulations, that's the main company, they send their vitamins to Amazon. Then these other people are selling it as well. Maybe they get it from Pure Encapsulations and they're selling it. But then there's counterfeit. Looks pretty similar. There's some maybe minor differences. What happens is all of those products go into one bin. They all go into one bin. The real stuff and the counterfeit stuff. So it's like, well, whichever one you get, So that's how it was explained. And it kind of makes sense that they would centralize it so that when they had to pack it, But that just freaked the shit out of me. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, I just feel like, and especially when you go down the rabbit hole of cleaner eating or trying to take care of yourself in a different way, whether it's one way or the other, it doesn't matter which way you're doing it. My recommendation is you listen to as much as possible before you start making any changes. Like I tend to just jump into stuff like constantly. I hear it and I'm like, yeah, that's good. And then I'll start doing it. But like I have just bought so many things because I hear one thing is good and then another person. And by the time I'm done with the research, then I can figure out what's good for me. So my recommendation is do all the research first. But I get a little excited and I just start, like, oh, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try this, and then you just end up wasting a whole bunch of money. But so I don't know about the supplement thing. I'm going to look at the ones I have. I usually don't buy them from Amazon actually, but I have recently. So I'm going to look at the ones I have, see if I can go to the original company and look at their bottles and match my bottles. Because usually a counterfeit will have something slightly off. That's what this video showed me. And it shows like two pictures, very, very similar, but something slightly different. So I'm going to have to do that before I take any of those, because now it kind of got me wigged out. So, so just FYI, it's so hard, isn't it? All this information. And then to know like who to, and there's, all this stuff about crypto. And I mentioned a couple days ago buying gold and silver. And of course, all those videos, those doomsday videos, are all coming from people who sell gold and silver. You just don't know. You just don't know, And same with all the crypto talk. It's usually people who want you to buy something. Now, yeah, we sell stuff here as well. Usually stuff that I just mentioned that I'm using, or the journals we've created. But it's not like, yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know what the difference is. I'm not using doomsday to say, oh, you better start journaling, or, you're going to lose all your money. I mean, you know what I mean? I think I don't know, it's slightly different. So that whole area, especially the crypto area, it is complicated. Have any of you looked into it? Any of you own any crypto? Obviously, this isn't financial advice, and we really shouldn't talk. I mean, I'm not going to get into too much financial stuff, but that whole thing is very complicated. And for me, it is. For me, it is. Like, you have to own like a wallet in order to put some crypto in it. And I'm like, my brain does not want to get it. Like, I just don't get it. And then I give up. I'm like I would rather focus on, health. But it appears that it appears society is moving in that direction. Let me just tell you. And I have heard some spiritual people say that we are moving to a digital currency. And it appears as if we're moving pretty quickly to it. So I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't even understand what it means. So I just think it's interesting. But I don't know. So, it's just, I think it's all the uncertainty. It's the uncertainty that we're feeling about a lot of things, right? So that's when we have to come back to our own reality. What's happening right now? What are you going to have for lunch? Go for a walk in your own area. Just focus on your own area. Don't focus on everybody else and what they're doing, because certainly, YouTube and the news and all that can make it seem like it's so much when, everyone's just kind of living their lives. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just with that, like I said, it just feels like there is a lot of change. And I think because we are, then we got the spiritual community, right? Saying we're moving into the golden future, right? And that we're moving into the 5D. So if that's the case, and we are doing a major shift regardless. This is the rise of divine feminine. Astrology, I really trust that. That is what's happening. So there's that huge shift too. And we're here for it. We signed up for all of this change. There's just so much change. And it is hard to know, like I say a lot, that there is no black and white, because there's so much change. And I think we're all trying to grasp onto something. What is real? Like, what is actually happening? And I think we are just at the beginning of that change. From a spiritual perspective, I'm going to continue to choose to believe that we are moving. I feel like I have enough evidence to hang on to that we're moving to a 5D rise of divine feminine, which is more gentle, empathetic, compassionate, not female, feminine, right? So there's a balance between feminine and masculine, community-based, truth, So I'm going to choose to hang on to that because that feels good to me, which is what we're doing, always following our intuition. If that doesn't feel good to you, then you wouldn't follow that, right? Because that's your intuition is telling you something else. But we have to, I think this is telling us, in order for us to go from where we are now to there, then we have to get comfortable with this amount of change and this amount of uncertainty in any given day. I had no idea I was going to talk about this today, but so that's, I think, now I'm just making some connections for myself here as I talk out loud, why the self-care is so important and why the stay in your own reality. And a card I just got, we ended up in the spirit circle on Sunday. We do a weekly blessing, we do a card reading, and my sister and I are both doing steps. She just reported in on her steps from yesterday. And so So there was a pick, we did a pick one. So the SGs laid out 3 cards for us and we did a pick one. And the one, I was just reading it again today. I had picked number 3 and mine was the card was this was the card. Go with the flow, relax and trust, accept what is happening. And I really needed to hear that. Like, I need to hear this. I'm going to put this up and on my mantle, actually. Go with the flow, relax and trust, accept what is happening. How many of you need to hear this? And that's, and don't get the accept what is happening. You know the difference, right? You know the difference between what the universe is trying to say here versus like, accepting watching somebody get beat up in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, of course you're not going to accept that. Accept what is happening. So we're talking for me, that's a much bigger message, right? Accept the changes that are coming. And I think the more I'm thinking about this, change and trust and adaptability are things that we may need to be talking about more and more as we go on. So the more you get comfortable going with the flow, as long as it's healthy and positive, going with the flow, when I ever start to get a little uncertain, anxious, I just take a break. I'm like, okay, I can't deal with that right now. What's my own reality? Relax and trust. I mean, this is an amazing card. If you want to take a picture of that, and just so you have it, it's really an amazing card. So I think this is, I have a feeling, and I know this is really premature. I can't wait to mention it though. So I'm going to, because my sister's gonna be like, why are you talking about this? I don't know. I don't think she'll care, but we are hoping, we just got some really big downloads of like next phase for Spirit Circle. And so we are probably going to be we're going to figure out the details, but we're probably going to be moving off of YouTube onto a different platform where we can engage differently. It'll be very cool. The people who are in the Spirit Circle right now, they're considered founding members. So when we shift, it's going to cost us a little bit more money. You get to keep the same price that you're in right now. Okay. So if you want to join up, now would be the time. I can't say when the shift, this is just, we literally just started talking about this like 2 days ago, but I got some really clear ideas on how to do this, and it's going to be pretty cool. And I think it's going to be really, this setup is going to be so different than what it is on YouTube. It's just not, it's like you just get like a list of videos and a playlist, and you can leave messages under, but there's no chat rooms and all this kind of stuff. So it'll be really cool, because I think in the future, like, we could have one political chat room for people who want to go in and explore something that's going on from a spiritual perspective. Or we could have a chat room on adaptability and, or moving to the golden future or whatever. There can be just chat rooms, all different kind of chat rooms. And then our plan is to have spiritual experts or people from different areas come, every day there'll be like a different person who would come and speak, not necessarily speak, but maybe answer questions, facilitate conversation. So it's going to be cool. So if you are one of those experts and you have an interest, we are going to ask people to, it's going to be a weird word, but like apply to become one. And then especially if you are someone who has individual appointments and you're looking for a way to get your name out there, this would be a really great way for that. So, but like crystals, soul contracts, birth contracts, astrology, Faye, I'm looking at you, astrology. So you actually will, so we're going to get other people in front of you this group that I'm probably gonna, our original name, I don't know, I'm just chatty today. Here I go. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you get the inside scoop here. Our original name when we started talking about this like a year ago, actually, because we were going to do this first before we were going to do the YouTube channel, and it just ended up being like this, was Sage Society is what we were going to call it. So anyway, so Spirit Circle off, you know, we'll just keep calling it Spirit Circle. But so, yeah, so super excited. There'll be like little courses in there. There's just so much opportunity. So it's probably going to take us like 6 months to build it out, you know, slowly. But yeah, so look forward to that, you guys. So those who join the Spirit Circle now will be able to be in there at founding member price permanently. So then after we raise the price, then it'll be like different levels. So, okay. Let's see. Okay. Messages for today. I was going to go over, I mean, I don't think there's like, I don't know. I was just looking at ground news this morning to see if there was anything kind of jumping out. I mean, there's always stuff, but I don't know. I guess I'm just not in the mood to talk about it today. Are you in the mood to hear it, or let's just get on to the messages. Okay. So again, using the pendulum. This is my little pendulum I've been using. And this thing, okay, pendulum chart or map. So the lead team, which is made up of all of our spirit guides, this is the message they gave me. Now, these are political messages, okay, and I did have to tease them out a little bit. So the message was just here, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? So then I said, what? And they said Trump, just here. Okay, so really, if they would have just started the message, it would have been, they would have said Trump just here, or Trump is just here. Okay, so then I said question mark again, and they said just existing. So he's just existing. So then I asked, what did I ask? I said, does that mean he has little influence? And they said yes. So he's basically just existing. He's like a little puppet on a string. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, but you know. So that's kind of interesting. And then they said the second message, they told me I had 2 messages today. The second message was just wake up. And then I said, oh, are you talking to the spiritual community? And they said no. And they spelled that out. They've never spelled that out before. MAGA. Just wake up. So now I haven't clarified about that. So let's just ask them real quick. Now I've already said the prayer today, but I'll say it again when we do the oracle. So, hey, you guys, lead team. When you say just wake up, that's the second message. And I asked you who, and you said MAGA, correct? Yes. Okay. Do you mean that they need to wake up? No. Do you mean they're just waking up? Yes. Are you telling us that they are starting to wake up? Yes. Okay. Or are you saying they just need to wake up? They better just wake up. Is that what you're saying? No. Okay. So you are saying they are just at this time waking up. Yes. And Epstein was the catalyst, I take it? Yes. Okay. Okay. I mean, you can see the whole manipulation now with now they're releasing the MLK files. Like, why didn't they release those before? Like, why is it now? And the other thing is, I mentioned this before too. I think one of the folks that I was listening to in the gold and silver space, actually, this guy doesn't really sell gold and silver, so he is a collector. He's a collector, but he really wants gold and silver to be considered a currency, which, I mean, in the traditional sense, which my understanding is that this month that banks are now starting to exchange gold, is my understanding. So there's that. So that's a change, But what was he saying? So he was basically saying that the whole Epstein thing, what he suspects is that it had not, okay, so all the distractions, the big beautiful bill or whatever, that the thing they really wanted to get past, I don't know how much of the big beautiful bill was the thing, but is the Genius Act. I think the Genius Act, which now allows banks, now is like a stable coin digital currency. It's about this digital currency. And the digital currency, so like if you have $1, you would then get a coin for a, let's just say there's $1 coin, and you would use a coin. Again, this is so new to me. I'm just like starting to piece this together. That you would use a coin, but this coin is trackable. Okay, so like your dollar is not trackable at this point. So I don't know if, nobody likes to be tracked, obviously, but, and I don't know, I mean, it depends on if it's for nefarious reasons, but the gold and silver community, at least this guy was listening to, is concerned about it. They're going to try to tank the dollar and replace for these stable coins, which is not really, it's not a thing, but I think that's the dichotomy right now between an actual asset, meaning a home, if you actually own it or have some ownership in it, a car, if you actually own it, gold, silver, those are physical assets. An actual dollar in your hand is a physical asset. If you don't have any dollars in your wallet, you only have a credit card, you don't own that. You don't own the credit card. So it's the physical asset, right? Most of us are so used to not having physical assets, money, because we don't feel like we need it. But then we don't really, all it is something on paper, which is really kind of interesting way to think about it. And because we're so distrusting, see, this is where our trust and go with the flow and all that, it's like really hard to see the line right now. But I think if we are going to be shifting this much, we're going to have to get used to this. Okay, like I said earlier. So I don't, so this guy was mad because he feels like the whole Epstein debacle was a distraction to get this genius, so that for the stable coin bill to be passed. Because apparently he says it's unconstitutional. So he doesn't like Trump at all, but he's definitely a Constitution person, somebody who's, well, as we probably all should be. So anyways, very interesting. It's very interesting stuff. So, if you have anything to add to that, you probably have way more information than I do. Please put it in the community comments so that people can start learning more. Just be careful of what you're reading and who you're reading it from. What's the reason for them telling you? You know what I mean? So, okay. So I think we're always going to be, so now I think, and that's why I started talking to you about this new community, because I think it's going to be community. So I want to have a platform that we can have more community than what we just have here on YouTube. And I think where we can really dialogue with each other, and because I just think it's going to be so much more necessary than it is now, and different than dialoguing on social media. I mean, this is essentially social media in a way, because all you get to do, unless we have the premiere, which is the reason we do the premiere, so you guys can dialogue with each other in the chat while it's premiering. If we didn't run the premieres every day, that chat wouldn't show up. That's why we do it. So those who want to participate in the chat, at least you guys get to talk to each other a little bit. So when we shift to this new platform, it'll be much more engaging. You'll be able to really get to know each other differently. And I just feel, for some reason, it actually came about because I joined this 90-day challenge for the eating that I'm doing for the change of eating. I don't like calling it a diet, but because I'm hoping it's going to be, this is going to be the way I have to eat from now on, just because it will, lower my glucose and all that kind of stuff. But so, and I find it interesting. It's like, oh, okay, I can see, like, I joined their platform, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. The way that they structured this. And within like 2 hours, I'm on the phone with Marsha, like, okay, this is so cool. We should do this. So I just got a really clear picture in my mind on how to do Spirit Circle phase 2. You know what I mean? But it all comes back to what we're talking about today in terms of all the shifting that's going to be going on, and how can we do it together where I'm not the only facilitator, that there are other facilitators within the community that bring different perspectives, and we'll vet those, and people who are experts. I am a generalist. Everything I talk about with you, I'm a generalist. Okay? I've always been a generalist most of my life. I don't have the gumption to be an expert. Okay, I was an expert in working with college students for sure, because I had done it for so long. But you're not going to get, well, and now I've spent 2 months now researching this new, animal-based. So I wouldn't say I'm an expert though. I don't have the experience, but that's about I get to know is about as much as I need to know. And then for me, and then I'm like, okay, So I'm excited to have people who are like someone in the community who is an expert in crystals, let's just say, who really has a lot of experience in crystals, and then they can facilitate your questions, answer your questions in the community, So doesn't that sound like fun? And then, just so many different things. Energy work. There's just so many things we can do. So I got a whole list already. So, all right. Thank you for listening to me. I'm just super excited about it, because I think this is going to be a space that I need as well going forward, Okay, so let's just get a quick message here. If I go too much further, I might end up, I might not get my upload up here until it's 1:15 already. I'm supposed to have the upload by 2:00. So it might, I don't know, because the longer the video goes, the longer it takes to upload. So, all right. I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light. And ask Archangel Michael to please protect this channel, my channel, and your channel, the lead team collective, so it is only of the highest and purest light. I love these cards. I always say that, but I like them. Simplicity of the drawings. Aren't they pretty? So pretty. Okay, let's see what message they have for us today, and we'll get skedaddling so I can get this uploaded. Hopefully by 2. It might not. I might have to go 2:30 today. Okay, if I ever come out late, if the premiere ever comes out late, that's why. It's because I'm talking too much, or I started filming a little too late, or whatever. So, okay, do you guys, hey lead team, do you guys have a message for us today? What message do you want the community to have today? Is that one? I'm not really feeling too much, to be honest. Sometimes you can feel like, I don't know, I can just tell if there's like a lot of energy in the deck in one day. I don't know how to explain that. See? There might be somebody here who... Oh, what I was going to say, if you are someone who has... it would be amazing if we had a couple like psychics, like someone who really has the clairs developed. There was a popper in the community. So anyways, if you're anybody that I've just talked about, who may want to be a facilitator in this community that we're developing, then if you could email us at Karen@determinedtolovemondays.com. Okay, determined with an ED. That was my original business, was Determined to Love Mondays. That just felt it was important because so many people, even including myself, there was a period of time I did not enjoy Mondays. Okay, you guys, so I have 3 cards in front of me. I don't have the time to do a pick one today if I'm going to get this uploaded. So did you want me to read all 3? No? Okay. How about the card, far card on the right? Yes. What about the one in the middle? No. The one on the left? No. Okay. So these 2 did pop out when I was talking there at the end, and the 2 were together. So one was sovereign, which is interesting considering what we were just talking about. Sovereign. You know, that's the other thing about crypto. Like, you can literally become your own bank. I don't know. The young people get it. Some people really get it. Release. That was the other card. Release. Sometimes the best way to grow is simply let go. Love that. Sometimes the best way to grow is to simply let go. Okay, but this is the card they wanted us to hear. Oh, that's interesting. Speak up. If you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself. What? Okay, all right. That's interesting. Who needed to hear that today? Who's not been speaking up that needs to? If you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself. Oh my gosh, so true. I have a few people that I know, real close people, that just, and they'll self-admittedly avoid conflict at all costs, but then, you know, it stews, you know. Who needed to hear that today? All right, speak up. All right, you guys, we'll see you tomorrow for Myths Part 2. Really fun. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.